Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Astra, the daily current affairs from the Hindu. This is Dhanunjayareddy bringing you the current affairs exclusively for the Union Public Service Commission Civil Services Examination Prelims, Mains and Personality Test from the Hindu dated 19th of December 2023. Let's have a quick review about what we have. 78 MPs were suspended yesterday. The opposition calls it as the murder of democracy. So in this winter session, almost 92 MPs have been suspended. Now this is something which is strange coming from the parliamentary proceedings of the democratic country like India. Now these people have been demanding an explanation from the Home Minister, Mr. Amit Shah, regarding to the so-called the security breach that has happened in the Lok Sabha recently. However, in a parliamentary democracy, suspending these many members is a new thing, and this is really something which is a great concern for the parliamentary functioning of the country. You can use this in GS paper to polity, prelims, as well as in the mains component. And in the today's editorial, this is the main editorial which speaks about how democracy has been declining and how UAPA, the provisions have been kept on the people who have attacked the parliament, on the 4 students who have attacked them. So this is a really great concern for the parliamentary function. In GS paper 2, you have a separate topic on this. Please have a look at this, and this can be used in answer writing of your mains. Omnibus Telecom Bill in Lok Sabha, law to streamline the regulation. So Government of India is thinking to bring a law by amending the telecom bill in Lok Sabha. Once the law is out, we will come out with what are the major things that has been taken place. Far few COG audits have been tabled in the Parliament in this present calendar year. That is, in 2023, only 18 audits of the center prepared by the COG has been tabled in the Parliament. This really shows that whatever the recommendations that are being made by the COG are not being properly discussed in the Lok Sabha. After this, life mission to rally people to be pro-planet. Government of India Ministry of Power is speaking about it. So this can be used in prelims as well as in mains. What is life? Life is lifestyle for environment. It is proposed by Prime Minister Modi at COP26 in Glasgow in 2021. And this is speaking about the so-called energy conservation techniques and increasing the energy efficiency, thereby ensuring that people will be following and take care of the so-called environment. So in this context, the regional head, Mr. Abhay Bakre, is speaking on the so-called how Government of India is ensuring that various energy conservation initiatives are helping to reduce the so-called the carbon footprint of the country. So Energy Efficiency Service Limited is under Ministry of Power. These are things that can be used in answer writings as well as in prelims. So in prelims, Life Mission, COP26, proposed by Prime Minister Narendra Modi at Glasgow. Please remember that is more than enough. President receives warm welcome for annual sojourn in city. We all know that President of India every year for residing in the summer, in the winter they will be coming to South India, and this is the thing that they have given. After this, Kerala governor winds up Calicut University visit, calls CM a bully. So we all know that issue that is happening between the Kerala Chief Minister and governor has reached the worst things these days. And Kerala's governor intervention in the elected government of the state has been something which is again calling the federal executive disputes to the forefront. In the today's editorial, this is also one of the major editorial that we have. So this is speaking about the Kerala's thing, unseemingly done. Kerala's governor and government conflict is resulting in belligerent protests that should not have been happened. So recently what we find is whenever there is some opposition ruled states, the governor of the states have been constantly interfering with the elected governments, be it in Telangana with Tamil Sai Sundar Rajan, be it in Telangana, Tamil Nadu, be it in the so-called the recent states of Kerala and Odisha. So governors are using their positions as chancellors of university as well as they are upholding their constitutional role in granting the assent to the bills. And now this is a dual burden on the governor. As per Punchi Commission, they made it very clear that in the center-state relations, governor should be given a send-off, or he should be stopped in exercising this dual burden of role of university chancellors. So they have to stop it now. Recently, what has happened, the governor has appointed right-wing sympathizers to the Senate. As a result, Students' Federation of India has put up protests against the governor-chancellor. In response to this, the governor of the state has called the chief minister as a poster campaign against him, and he was the responsible behind all this politics. Now, this is something which is really unwarranted. The chief minister should instruct the supporters to avoid street protests, whereas the governor as chancellor, governor's role as chancellors are transferring the chancellors should not be biased in any manner. Only when the governor and the chief minister set highest standards, the state will be and the government will be functioning in a proper manner. Legislative decline. This is speaking about the so-called denial of legislative debate for the democratic black swings in India. Recently, in the Parliament of India, in this winter session, there has been security breach in Parliament. This is one thing, and this breach has been highlighting the issues of public importance, that is unemployment in the country. However, the union government response has been very deplorable on this context. That is, rather than giving a proper answer inside the Parliament, the ruling government has resorted to suspension of opposition members. Totally 92 members were suspended, and this is in one session. If you look at the total suspensions that were done since 2014 until this winter session, it was just 94, but in this winter session itself it is 92. This shows that how the government or how the ruling party is stifling the so-called voice of the opposition parties. The hallmark of any functioning democracy is deliberation, wherein the elected legislature debate and discuss issues of public importance and seek solutions to issues that affect the citizens. So deliberations involve not just television speeches but also debates, utilization of parliamentary and standing committees, dwell into the issues for bills and legislations to be discussed threadbare before consideration. However, these things are not being followed in the parliamentary functioning of India today. There has been multiple attempts at browbeating the opposition. The bills are being passed without adequate discussions, disallowing amendments of merit, and underutilizing the standing and parliamentary committees. This has compelled India to be a global democracy. There was one institution called v.democratic institution that said that electoral autocracy has been the norm in India. Adding salt to the injury, the government has imposed UAPA on the dissenters. This clearly shows that they are equating the dissent with terror. Now, this is something which is really black sliding the democracy in India, and this is making the matters somewhat serious again. So what government of India has to do? Government of India has to be more open to the opposition parties, and they have to hold the responsibility, as parliamentary democracy means the ruling government of the executive have to be responsible to the legislature, and that has to be followed in Tito. Hence, it is the responsibility of the Home Minister of this country to come and address what are the measures that the government of India has taken and how this parliamentary breach has happened. So this is something which is really speaking about the democratic institutions. A blow for the rights of the legislature in the lawmaking. This is speaking about the recent Supreme Court judgment on the assent that has to be given by the governor and president. According to Article 200 of the Indian Constitution, the governor of the states can exercise veto powers on the bills that has been passed by the state legislature. However, in the recent Supreme Court judgment against the so-called state of Punjab versus Principal Secretary of the Governor of Punjab, the Supreme Court made it very clear that the governor cannot withhold the bills for a longer period of time. Rather, whenever he wants to withhold, he has to send the bill for reconsideration of the state legislature. Once it is reconsidered, the governor has to give his assent under this provisions. So in effect, the Supreme Court has clearly made one rule very clear, that the governor cannot sit very long on the bills. However, there is one more consideration that has to be seen very seriously. That is Article 201 of the Indian Constitution, where the governor of a state is allowed to reserve a bill that has been sent to him by the state legislature. So under these reservations, many state governors are using this route in order to escape their constitutional mandate. For example, if you see the state of Kerala, the governor of Kerala has sent almost 7 bills for the president's consideration after delaying it for 2 years. The same thing has happened in Punjab, the same thing has happened in Tamil Nadu. So this is all showing that though Supreme Court has curtailed the provisions on one area, there has to be clear-cut provisions even in the consideration of the bills to the President. So in this context, please look at what are the provisions that Constitution of India is saying as far as when Governor of India can recommend the bills to the President. So Article 213 deals with ordinance making powers of Governor. Whenever Governor wants to impose ordinance, definitely he has to take the concurrence of the President. Along with this, Article 254 says that under Clause 2, a state law on any item of the concurrent list will prevail in the state even when it contains the provisions repugnant to the provisions of the existing central law when the state government has taken the previous consent of the President. Under these two circumstances, the state government or the state governor is asked to consider the President. Now, in other areas also, the governor is using his discretionary powers and resolving the bills under Article 201, and that is something which has to be taken care. Another beautiful article has come on the local level governance and how it is going to help in grassroots level democracy and eliminate Maoism. A very beautiful article has written how political equality is going to play, or political empowerment is going to eliminate the Maoist or Maoism problem in the country. So grassroots level democracy is a bulwark against the Maoists, says this article. Now, this article speaks about tribal votes have been around 34% in the state of Chhattisgarh. However, in some constituencies, the polling pattern has been very low. This clearly shows that the Maoists were quite successful as far as refraining the tribals from coming to the so-called voting. But there are some deep-seated constituencies inside the Chhattisgarh tribal areas where there has been increase in the turnout. So what is really required in a democracy is the ruling government has to instill the confidence in the tribal, saying that they can exercise their political power by using the democratic norms, and thereby they can ensure that whatever they are falling short, that can be achieved. In this context, the PESA provisions are also going to be helpful if they are implemented in letter and spirit. PESA has been enacted in the year 1996. However, since 1996, the state governments have been not implementing this PESA correctly. Normally, in PESA, they have to empower the Gram Sabhas and to bring the people at the grassroots level face to face with the government. But the implementation of PESA Act has been half-hearted. As a result, the Maoists were able to foster their agenda of Janata Sarkar. So it is the government's responsibility to acknowledge and give voice to the tribals by recognizing their rights under PESA, and they should also focus on not only security and developmental activities but also should focus on enabling democracy at the grassroots level. When people participate in the democracy, obviously it is going to be one of the biggest solutions or better solutions for Maoism in the country. So very beautiful article has been written, please read that. So all these articles are important today. One is on the rights of the legislature, legislative decline, unseemingly turned grassroots level democracy. So even the fifth article is regarding to the so-called polity, the hollowing out of anti-defection law. This article speaks about what anti-defection law under 10th schedule of Indian Constitution has. We all know that under 10th schedule, if a person who is elected from a political party is crossing the floor or yielding the floor, definitely they can be suspended by the parties, and that can be used as a means in order to curtail their dissent. However, in this article, they are speaking about what are the chinks that is available in the so-called 10th schedule and how that is being misutilized. So, if you see over the years how these things were misutilized, particularly in the states of Madhya Pradesh, Maharashtra, Manipur, Karnataka, and Arunachal Pradesh, the state governments were toppled by the opposition parties by using the anti-defection rules, and then they have come to power. However, the implementation of anti-defection has been not to the greater extent something which is really a concern. So the authors are saying that the merger and exception rule should be deleted from the 10th schedule, and that will be the first step towards ridding the 10th schedule of its ailments, after which the other steps should follow. So this is speaking about anti-defection law. For general studies students, please look at anti-defection provisions in Lakshmikant book. For PSAR students, please along with this have a look at this article. This will be helpful because they have given a history of anti-defections ever since the law was implemented. The number of COG reports of the Union government tabled in Parliament hits a low, again quality news. So from the 33 in 2011, which increased to 53 in 2015, in 2023 they declined to 18. This shows that financial accountability of the government has been decreasing in the state, in the country. So all the articles today are regarding to the so-called polity articles. Please have a look at it. If you have good polity understanding, you'll understand that. OBC representation in AIMS faculty is low, says House panel. Against the mandated 27% of the reservations, the Delhi institute called AIMS has less than 19% of OBCs. This speaks about something is wrong with our reservation systems where the people are not equally representative. India's first winter Arctic expedition is going to begin. The Raman Research Institute's team to hold the study. India has been running its own research station in Arctic known as Himadri in Svalbard since 2008. Now the Raman Research Institute's team was has selected some batch of students or scientists who will conduct experiments ranging from astronomy, climate change, atmospheric sciences, these things. Now what we have to remember is this is going to be a month-long scientific expedition, and this is funded by Ministry of Earth Sciences. The National Center for Polar and Ocean Research Center, which is in Goa, is the nodal agency spearheading the expedition. These are useful for prelims. And we are going to conduct the so-called radio spectrum shaped antenna measurement of the background radio spectrum. A SARAS series of experiments are going to be conducted. Now, cosmic dawn, they are going to look at cosmic dawn. Now, what is cosmic dawn? It denotes the period when the first stars and galaxies were born in the universe. There are two vital phases of the universe underwent during its early phases of evolution several billions of years ago. So, these are all the issues that they can ask in prelims. Have a look at it. Direct taxes will exceed 75% of budget estimates. Not important, you can neglect it. Capex loans to states yet to hit half mark in the financial year 2024. In this context, just remember there was one scheme which was launched by the central government during the times of COVID-19, and that is special assistance loan scheme to the states, where the central government has said that they are going to give interest-free loans to the states if they fulfill some criteria. So under this, in the year 2020 and 21, 12,000 crores were issued. In the 21-22 financial year, 15,000 crores were issued. In 2022-23, 1.07 lakh crores were issued. However, only few states have got this and the rest of the states are not getting this. This is some concern in the so-called fiscal federal relations of the states. Generative artificial intelligence can add $1.5 to 1.2 to 1.5 trillions to GDP by financial year 2030, says the so-called the report prepared by global accounting consulting firm EY. Not important, leave it. So Gelufu project is in news. This is present in Utah, remember it. So Israel is using starvation as a weapon, says the Human Rights Watch. These can be used in ethics answer writing, guys. Vatican approves blessings for the same-sex couple with caveats. Again, that can be used in ethics answer writing. And the last one that you have today is, what does COP28 mean for cities? If you are interested, you can read it. So COP28 has given a key role for involving people located in cities to ensure that climate change issues, city governance is going to play a very crucial role. Now there is one data here, 45% of the people used to live in cities across the world by 1995. By 2021, it increased to 55%, and by 2050, 68% of the global population is going to be lived in the cities. Hence, it is very important that cities have to take part in the so-called climate action planning. So understanding value investing, how it works, how it brings profits, not important, just know what is value investing. Value investing refers to a style of investment that involves buying assets such as stocks, bonds, real estates at price lower than their intrinsic value and hoping that in future they attain the intrinsic value, thereby they get the profits. This is called value asset investing. These are the things that we have in current affairs for today. Thanks for joining. Take care and have a nice day.